I've been aware of Identity V since 2020, a free Chinese game made for mobile with a doll-like aesthetic and gameplay similar to Dead by Daylight. If you played or heard of Dead by Daylight before Identity V, there's a good chance you've known it as a ripoff or an inferior version. The worst but free alternative. I held these exact sentiments up until I tried it and learned a little more. I do think this is inferior to Dead by Daylight in some ways and also better in some ways, but I don't want this to be only a comparison video, so I'll get to that later. I tried the game for the first time a few weeks ago when my friends got really into it because of the Persona 5 collab. They convinced me because of this composer guy who was, a little bit of my type, that's all I'll say. I was not very excited to find out that I had to play a bunch to unlock him, but I had a free trial, so it ended up working out fine. You start off with a few survivor characters, a doctor, a gardener, this ugly freak, a lawyer, and a thief. There's also the free killers, ugly freak 2, and a clown. Every other character you have to unlock by collecting puzzle pieces. You get these through pyramids that are gained from playing. Each pyramid is a dice roll that lets you move across a long path full of rewards and, eventually, a skin of whatever the featured character is for this game's season. There's also purple gems for character skins, inspiration which is used for the gacha, spyglass for the event store, golden apples for something, haven't figured that out yet, intimacy points for your friends, and echoes for a bunch of stuff. They can override most currencies. Echoes are the real life money one, and they don't seem to go a long way. Look at this conversion amount. That's nothing. This game has so many currencies that I'm also probably forgetting one. So sorry. The game itself is pretty simple. Find the cipher machine, decode it. I am not used to these terms, I still call it generator, but I want to be accurate here. Then open the escape gate, all while avoiding the killer, Hunter. And trust me, you do not want to get caught. You will never be let go. Every hunter has different abilities to learn and skills at their disposal. Their skills can be universally picked, but the most common one is detention. What really sets this game apart from Dead by Daylight that a lot of people don't talk about is the win system. In Dead by Daylight, there is no big win screen in your face. The win is being able to escape, or the satisfaction of having a great match and only dying at the very end. In Identity V, you win if 3 people survive, you draw if 2 people survive, and you lose if 3 or everyone dies. This is something I really had to get used to. Nothing sucks more than having a great match, surviving a chase, getting the most points, escaping through the hatch, but 3 people died so you lost. This makes random matching suck sometimes. You're now depending on strangers even more to win. I play with my friends most of the time, so I can at least escape that, but I can't imagine how many people go crazy over it. Identity V has a ranked mode and a quick mode. Ranked gives you more rewards and is only available for limited periods during the day, while quick mode is casual. Don't think it's actually quick though, because God is the queuing time a nightmare. I have waited 11 minutes for a match before. That's longer than most of my matches last. There's also a bunch of side modes too. My favorite to play is Duo Hunters as the killer with my friend, but it's fun as Survivor too. It's available for limited times during the day too. I'm not sure why exactly, but the same goes for the other side games. Now that I've explained the game, I'm going to start with what I don't like about it, then talk about what I do like, and go back and forth. Might as well get the bad out of the way first, right? There is a very large problem with Identity V's core gameplay. If you play, you know what I'm going to say, because I started with Dead by Daylight, and every Identity V player gets very mad when Dead by Daylight players complain about it. So cover your ears for the next minute while I talk about it. The camping is so bad in this game. That was why I said earlier that you really don't want to get caught. If a killer knocks you down, most of them will stand in front of the chair you're in and have a staring contest with you until you die. When someone tries to save you, the killer can one-shot knock them down in the middle of the process, so survivors have to be really careful with timing. And when you do get saved, there is no grace period. Killers can knock you down immediately after you're unchaired. If you do escape, they're gonna tunnel you. Forever. Unless someone miraculously distracts them long enough. It's great. I love it. The worst is when you play a decoder. These characters are better at decoding, as says the name, and the composer I like to play is one of them. Killers naturally spawn closer to these support characters, and do not let them go because of their ability. It's a real strategy. I got so mad over this one time that I googled it, thinking, man, this game is pretty old. Someone else has to have a problem with this, right? No, Identity V fans are weirdly almost proud of the fact that camping is a popular strategy. They get super mad when you tell them it's stupid. I don't personally believe the game is survivor favored, it feels like the complete opposite, but even if it were, how is standing in front of someone unmoving fun? You're not doing anything. I get camping if we're being swarmed by survivors or if there's someone constantly coming in, but that's a match by match basis and constantly changing. So how can you have fun just standing there doing nothing? The best killers I've played against are the ones who don't do this. Most of them destroy us. If you're gonna stay in the area or do a wide circle around the chair, whatever, I get it, it's not Dead by Daylight, but what is the fun in standing there? Seriously, do you watch paint dry for entertainment? Okay, camping talk over. Identity V players, you can come back now. Dead by Daylight players, imagine this. Every single killer has no one escapes death. That's Identity V. It's not that bad, honestly. You get used to it and how to work around it, so there's genuine strategy to it, but that doesn't stop it from sucking. When the killer sucks and only can get a kill through detention, it's pathetic. What makes dealing with it easier is being able to tell your team when a killer has detention. You can call out when you see the red eyes. It's great being able to visually tell when they have it. Pinging your location and communicating with your teammates through the game works really well. It allows you to almost constantly know where the killer is and if your teammates are being useful or not. You can also know when to do something, like when to pop the last cipher, because it raises everyone's health state. Another good thing about the gameplay is how unique the different characters are. Besides decoders, there's rescuers who focus on, well, rescuing, containers who run around the killer, and assists who work really well with their teammates. Every character has their own lore and personality. They have individual reasons for being in this game, most pretty tragic and relating to different illnesses or disorders. A lot of them are very, very interesting. Identity V is one of the few games that shows these types of things really well. They just had an amazing event discussing autism and have several characters with this disorder who are portrayed like normal people. This game doesn't do stereotypes often, if at all. Some characters are more popular than others, as per usual. I see a lot of priestesses, prisoners, seers, patients, but that doesn't stop every match you go into being different. The killers have the same thing with a lot of diversity in their abilities. Geisha can shoot butterflies at you and teleport to them, the Naiad leaves deadly water trails everywhere, the photographer creates a whole new world, and the Nightwatch is a stupid enemy who I hate. I try and ban him every time I play ranked. He sucks. My favorite to play as is the photographer, and I generally have an easy time with him. I still can't afford him though, so I have to wait for the trials. Sorry, photographer. I play composer for decoding, painter for containing, and the little girl, memory, for assisting. She's my favorite to play because I like how I get to interact with my teammates a lot, but the first few times I played her, I definitely screwed some people over with her skill. Sorry to all those people I got killed while learning to play her. My bad. There is something about memory, though, that brings me to a bigger issue that makes me very, very frustrated. Memory's main ability is being able to climb on people in the form of a little doll. The other survivor can kick her off at any time with left click. Some survivors have abilities that use left click, so when they use those abilities, she gets kicked off. The problem comes when those survivors are in the middle of a chase and need to use their ability. It's like being a sacrificial lamb. I am learning through trial and error who I need to avoid. I am never touching a prospector or a batter again. I thought it was stupid that the buttons were the same, but maybe it was some nerf thing to keep her from being overpowered. Maybe it's a strategy. But no, Identity V's PC port is just really lazy. This isn't a problem on mobile. It's really irritating because this isn't the only instance of the PC port sucking. You can't do any of the tutorials besides the first one without mobile. It's a tutorial. Why would you need to use your phone? They're not going to be the same controls. Why do they not fix this? I don't understand. And I can't just download the app and do it there, because if you make your Identity V account on PC first and then try to play it on an iOS device, it becomes some complicated nightmare that risks losing your account. Now to talk about the biggest money grab in Identity V, the gacha. Each season has 3 different banners to pull from, and wow do they require a ton of work to get what you want. The wishing currency in this game is known as essence. It's given through the same path as the puzzle pieces, but is more sparse, especially considering there are 3 different types to give out. Banners have B tier, A tier, and S tier items. These items include character costumes, graffiti, standby motions, emotes, and portraits. The big ones people want are the costumes. B tier items have an initial 15% appearance rate, A tier items have 2.5%, and S tier is a measly 0.5%. The chances, like any other gacha, go up as you pull. B tier items are guaranteed after 10 essences, A after 60, and S after 250. The specific item you want is never guaranteed though. That's right, never. So do not get attached too much to any skin unless you for sure know you can get it. And essences don't carry over when the season ends. You lose all of your pity. Good luck! Gachas in general are always awful. Identity V is no different. The one good thing from the system though is that none of it is necessary or important. All of the characters can be gained just from playing. It's gonna take a while, but you don't have to roll for them. You can pay for them with real money. That seems kind of stupid though. The game isn't gonna get any easier because you can do a certain emote or own a cool skin. It's all aesthetic. The aesthetic is really nice though. There's a million different outfits to choose from, with so many being well made. Memory has the cutest Dorothy skin. I love Patient's new Romeo skin. Because the game already has a simple style, the bright, shiny outfits don't distract from the game. That's great because there's a lot. One issue I have with Dead by Daylight is how the outfits can really pull you out of the game. I don't have an urge to buy most of them because they're so bright, making you a giant target in this dark world. There's even collab costumes between franchises, so you can be your favorite character in the Identity V style. I love the collabs in this game, and I'm kind of sad I missed some of them, like the Sanrio one. Look at Cinnamoroll Photographer. I need that skin. The Junji Ito collection is another great one. It's a shame I never see people use the Tomy skin. They've done other popular franchises too, like Persona, Danganronpa, and Death Note. The collabs are really hard to get stuff from that you want without a ton of time and effort and money, but they're still pretty cool. Outside of the game, the layout makes me want to scream sometimes. There are so many buttons, all leading to different things, none telling you what they are. I've gotten used to it now, but it is not starter player friendly. There's pop-ups when you first log in. I get one for the coordinator every single time I open the game. I am not spending money for this girl. At least make it somewhat tempting. I also don't understand the whole ranked time limited thing. Well, I get why it's limited, but what is up with the times? Why can I only play ranked from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. or 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. or whatever? Who's playing Identity V at 1 p.m.? So is Identity V a ripoff of Dead by Daylight? As someone who's played both, even if I wanted to somehow argue that it is, the mobile version of both games is under the same developer. They're aware of each other and comfortable. It obviously took inspiration, and the developers have said as such. There's nothing wrong with that. I think of it as like a kid-friendly version of Dead by Daylight, with no blood or anything. The collabs are very teenagers like this types, like Danganronpa. You don't even die, you rocket away. There's great community support too from what I've seen, which makes it really different from Dead by Daylight. There's frequent updates, and the developers are transparent on social media about new releases far in advance, but Dead by Daylight has the upper hand just by not being a gacha game. I recommend Identity V, but for casual play. Don't get too into it, don't get sucked into the gacha, and you'll be fine. It's very fun as long as you don't take it too seriously and make sure to pace yourself. Otherwise, getting camped for the 8th match in a row is gonna hurt bad. Still, it's free and accessible, so if you're willing to risk a gambling problem, you can always give it a try. It's really not for everyone though. I don't know how long I'll stick with it, but I'm having a lot of fun right now, so I'll see where that leads me. Thanks for watching.